everybody, welcome back to another episode of Small Business 101 on Arbeit.
Yes, and this is a great episode because once again, it's something we're currently doing right now. So we're bringing it to you. We're talking about how to create a buyer persona.
Yeah, and why it's important.
Yeah, so before we even start that, what is a buyer persona?
So a buyer persona, it's essentially a fictitious character that resembles one group of people that buy your product.
Yeah, perfect.
And what that entails is completely up to you. Different companies use these for different things. They can be solely for marketing. They can be solely for sales. They could be solely for product development. They can solely be for UX design on products. But a lot of companies use them for mix and matches of that. But yeah, we're using ours for all of them combined. But essentially, you're trying to figure out
who's your ideal customer.
Yeah. So
what does that ideal customer look like?
Not even your ideal. You have more than one persona. So what you do is you're gonna interview your clients. You know.
That's what you've been doing.
All of your clients. Yep. And you're gonna figure out. And once you're done interviewing, let's say you interviewed 20 people, right? Out of those 20 people, you're going to analyze all the data and you're going to group them. And you're going to be like, oh, well, 5 people are identical. They all like the same things. They all hate the same things. They all value the same things. And you're going to put them into a group. And they're going to be persona A. And you're going to, that's the persona. And then, 5 other people are going to be completely different. They're going to all like these same things, and these same things. And, so on and forth. Persona B, C, and D. And then you're going to have 4 personas that make up your entire customer base. And why they're important is you can then target marketing material specifically for that persona. One persona might really, really, really value one part of your product, like maybe they're really data driven and they want great analytics or feedback. So you can market specifically to that persona. And then same with another. It could be you could have again 4 different pros to your software, and 3 of the personas don't care about the pros that the one persona cares about. So you want to target the material specifically for that. So, and it's good for the sales team too.
Yep.
I mean, why would this be valuable for sales?
The ones you did last week, right? Like first off, one of the questions you ask is like, how did you hear about us, or why did you buy us, something like that. And there was one guy who's like saw an ad on Facebook or got a referral. Right. That's and the other guy was like, I would never buy something I saw on Facebook, but like. You kind of notice a theme, like referrals is a big one, right? Like, I won't buy something unless someone else swears on it.
Right.
So then, like, the entire sales strategy kind of shifts to, like, driven by referrals.
Right.
Versus, like, Facebook ads or whatever.
Yeah, you might, and it's good to have this data because if you don't, you're kind of just guessing. So, but the marketing and sales questions of, like, a buyer persona interview are pretty straightforward. I mean, those are the easier ones, I think, in my opinion. It's like, where did you hear about us? When you buy software, how do you normally do it? And you'll be surprised what people say, like, I ask around in the industry, or I Google it, or I search I call trade shows and ask them or something. But you might be surprised at the answers. So, but one of the harder part of the buyer persona is the product development side, I think. But if you're making software or something like that, this is probably the most important, especially if you're adding and constantly like building on it or creating something new. And that's the harder part of it, because you have to figure out and try and word the questions in the way that the clients can give you their struggles. What are their challenges every day as it relates to your product, or maybe not even your product, just their day-to-day.
Yeah.
What is like hard for them on a day-to-day? What's stopping them from reaching their goals? And then based on those answers, you can say, well, this is how our software can help that, Like if I asked you, what's stopping you from reaching a goal, you could say maybe, we can't make enough phone calls in a day, right? So it's like, well, you'd make a feature for the software that's going to help with that. Or, well, we're not able to get through all of our leads, or we can't qualify the leads in a time. So you could then make software that helps with that.
Yeah, and that's important because you were talking about this, like versus like when you ask a question like, what do you want? You're not going to get that answer. So make sure your questions are very tailored.
A lot of times somebody might say, oh, I want this feature.
And drill down on that feature.
And the feature is really just like a Band-Aid, or it's like that feature in their mind, it's like it cures a symptom of the cure problem, or the core problem. Like, they might be like, oh, I need this feature, and really it's just like a workaround, you want to figure out, well, why do you need that feature? What's stopping? Why do you actually need that feature? Well, because I need, I can't think of an example, but
Yeah.
I need it to do. I need something at the end of the day, and so a lot of times that.
This just came up with us here recently.
Not
right?
just sometimes, but a lot of times, you'll find that core problem, and that feature isn't the best solution. Like the feature does it, but it's not the best. It's not the most efficient. You could find the core problem and think of a way better solution.
Yeah, so this came up with a product, right? They told the salesperson, here's what I want it to do.
Right.
We took it to the engineering team. The engineering team's like, I don't know if that's right. Got on the phone with the customer and determined that wasn't actually what they want. There's a bigger problem here.
Right.
And they actually solved that problem. And there's, this symptom isn't necessarily the right diagnosis, right? But when you reach that real diagnosis, there's more symptoms
Right.
other than this one that are going to solve that problem's going to solve by fixing
Exactly.
it. So
Yeah.
make sure you tailor those questions specific to
Yeah.
what you're trying to achieve.
Yep. And you can start this from day one. This is something that you can start right away. If you have 2 customers, you can start interviewing them, and just, it doesn't matter how many personas you have, get something going at least. You could have 1 persona, that's fine. You can have 20 personas, that's fine. Just start somewhere and, it'll benefit you in the long run for sure.
20 different personalities.
Yeah. But
But all this is beneficial, so thank you for watching. And as always, see you next week.
see ya.